1, 2, the cut down. The Xiaomi Mi Mix Fold. My goodness, Xiaomi have finally decided to enter the foldable scene, and this is a very interesting one because it's very telling what they've been able to do in terms of the design decision that they've taken with what they're going to do with their foldable device. And I'm going to pretty much share my thoughts and opinion on what they need to do to stand out, what my thoughts are on what they've actually brought out. Is it good from the outside looking in? What's the aim, and where is it going to sit against the foldable competition that we have so far? Xiaomi are trying their best to come in swinging, and the Mi Mix Fold does look interesting. 100% does look interesting, and I can't wait to break it down. And if there is a way that I can get hands-on with it and use it, come on, man. You know I'm going to do that. You know I'm 100% going to do that. But from the outside looking in, this is an interesting announcement from Xiaomi. They had a big press conference with many different devices and announcements, but this one, the minute I saw Mi Mix Fold, best believe I was ready. Shout out to Super Saf. Got this tweet from him. Tweeted on the 30th of March 2021. And we have the Mi Mix Fold, and they've gone with the inner fold design, very reminiscent of what we have with my favorite phone of all time, or my favorite device of all time, because it's so multifaceted, right? The Z Fold 2. Yes, people, Z, I tell you, Z. The Z Fold 2. Z. Now we're back. In the fold that they're going for is an 8.01 inch display. Let's just say an 8-inch display. Cool. Quad high definition plus foldable display, and the outer cover display is a 6.52 inch full high definition plus display that is 90 hertz. Wow, okay, good. But we need to find out what the aspect ratio is on that outer display, because screen size doesn't tell the story in terms of the usability of that outer cover display, as we found out. And if you've not seen my countless Z Fold 2 videos. Quad camera system with 108 megapixel primary camera, 30 megapixel ultra wide, 8 megapixel telephoto ×3, 8 megapixel macro, a Surge C1 ISP image signal processing chip. So it's a dedicated image signal processing chip. Okay, very interesting. And you've got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, 12 and 16 gigabytes of RAM. You've answered one of my problems. LPDDR5, which is low power double data rate memory generation 5, 256 and 512 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage, which you answered one of my complaints about the Z Fold 2. 5020 milliamp hour battery, which is again another 500 milliamp bigger than what you have with the Z Fold 2, and 67 watt charging, which is exactly one of the complaints I had. Okay, you've now got my attention, Xiaomi, because guess what? It's almost like you were watching my videos. I'm gonna assume that. Man, I assume that. Yeah. So here we are. That already is a point of concern. That looks like a 25:9 aspect ratio for the outer cover display. That's a problem. Not that it's a problem, but it's okay. The resolution slightly over 720p, but it's a stretched version. 900 nits, true color, Dolby Vision, 90 hertz. I like the fact there's a refresh rate of 9 hertz. Great. They're talking about the butterfly mechanism.
Xiaomi.
Wow. Okay. They've put a beast in here for the camera system. This is just a quick roundup of what we have here. Sound by Harman Kardon, tuned, I'm guessing. Quad speaker system, great, as expected. Wi-Fi 6, all the standards, but this has already caught my interest. That's already a problem. The outer cover display has an even more narrow outer cover display than what you get with the Z Fold 2, 27:9 aspect ratio. So everything else, as we went through, in terms of obviously the sensor size 1/1.42, great. 8K at 30 frames a second. Okay, great. Selfie camera, not doing any 4K, 20 megapixel selfie. Let's do a quick compare. Z Fold 2, and you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to the outer cover display. So if you see here, right, the outer cover display It's 25:9 aspect ratio, which is already a big improvement from before, from that 4.6 inch display to what we have right here. But it's the narrowness of 25:9, then 27:9. That was already a red flag when I saw the image, even though I didn't know what it was. Slightly bigger display, actually, which makes a difference for a foldable device like that. So that means the fact it's 8 inch versus 7.6 inch, you should have done a better job with the outer cover display, with the aspect ratio being more 20:9. X2. So let's put the Mate X2s. You can get perspective of what I'm referring to. If you look at the Mate X2, although it doesn't put the aspect ratio there, the outer cover display on the Mate X2 looks smaller by corner to corner, but it actually has a wider aspect ratio, which makes it more usable relative to the fact that it is an 8 inch inner display. So they utilize the inner display and the size of the phone to be much bigger for the inner display as well as the outer cover display, and have a higher internal resolution as well if you look at the PPI. So right now, although this is an improvement over the Z Fold 2, this still feels like a hardware step behind of a good continuation of a foldable device, especially with having a wider aspect ratio outer cover display. So far, Xiaomi I think slightly missed something there. Okay, again, like I said, time is limited. We're gonna do quick fire ones for this one. This looks good. This looks good. This is a good outing from Xiaomi. This is a good outing from Xiaomi. I don't know what's going to be the worldwide availability. I love the fact that they've addressed a lot of the little things that I actually talked about in terms of the 5 dislikes, that the things I dislike about my Z Fold 2. I addressed it in my dedicated video, as well as my follow-up video, as well as my full review. So you'll see it all pop up. I love the fact that the battery is bigger. I love the fact that the battery charging tech will definitely give you less than 1 hour charging, way less than 1 hour charging at 67 watts. What they're claiming is 100% in 40 minutes. Let's just put it that way. That's great. I love that. I love the fact that they gave a 512 gig option. I love that. I love the fact that they've put a 16 gigabyte RAM option in there. I love that. All these things matter because you'll be very surprised if you're a very rare person that has owned any of the foldables. It makes it easy to encourage you to power multitask. It doesn't feel hard to power multitask. It doesn't feel hard to be running 4 free apps at the same time. It feels natural because the screen is just so big. You can see each app at the same time. It makes using separate apps all at the same time. It saves you less time on your device because your popular apps that you go through, you're able to go through them quickly and you spend less time on your device. That's one of the things I really love. And then the outer cover display makes it feel more like a normal phone. Here's the thing, I don't know, it's still in its infancy. The camera's great. They've answered all the inkling little things that I had, but I feel like I think maybe because they slightly were maybe in their development cycle, they might have missed an opportunity to have saw those improvements needed, because I think making the display bigger for 8 inches, you should have affected the width and the aspect ratio for the outer cover of the display to have a wider aspect ratio to make it feel like a normal phone. Because here's the problem that you have right now. If I'm comparing the two, do you see how skinny in terms of the width compared to something like a Note 20 Ultra, right? Even if you consider something like a normal size, or as you would like to call it, a normal size iPhone, it still doesn't have the width to give you that pure typing experience to make it feel closer to a normal size phone. It feels still a bit too skinny, and the fact that the aspect ratio is even skinnier at 27:9, that's a problem. That's a problem. What other differentiating factor is going to have? It's got to have something within the software to really stand out that makes it unique. And I believe they've got some desktop modes and stuff, but you see, Samsung have had decks for ages, so they've been the one that have really patterned that experience up really well. It's great they're in there. From what I know, the price has been well undercut versus the competition. That might give them an advantage based on global availability and how much access you have to it. They still got Google Play services, so they should be fine. But this does leave them open. Even with Huawei struggles, this does look like Huawei are in a better position with what they've done as a hardware overall improvement. But you see, where Huawei have landed themselves, as good as it is, they're struggling with software, unfortunately. Don't want to beat that to the bush. But now this puts more pressure on Samsung to make sure third generation of this has to have S Pen support. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off, but if they do pull it off, this is where Samsung going to really run away with it. They're going to run away with it. And these other manufacturers have to now start thinking about the unique differentiation from hardware to software, integrating it, as well as making all these usability features really make sense. Like one of the things, again, no proper dual SIM, but eSIM, don't like that. So I'm guessing they've got proper dual SIM support when it comes to the communication, the cellular communication that you've got in there as well, which I'm hoping. So yeah, they've got dual nano SIM that's in there, which is great to see. That's already a win. And you've got the same for Huawei. That's one inkling niggle that I had with the Z Fold 2 that I did not agree with at all. It shouldn't have had eSIM. It should have 2 proper physical nano SIMs that's in there. I'm definitely liking I'm liking that they've tackled battery, charging, storage, RAM, outer cover display having high refresh rate, and price. But they have missed an opportunity with the outer cover display. And whatever might differentiate. But with all these things put into place, I've said it, competition is good. Competition keeps each manufacturer not just honest, but it makes them bring out their A game. This is a good outing. And if there's a way I can try the Mi Mix Fold, oh, best believe I'm gonna get hands on with it. Those are my thoughts on the newly announced Xiaomi Mi Mix Fold.